Okay, we're back with this fun video series showing you a world that many may not experience, but I have found to be of huge benefit and would love to share with the world. So that's why we're here. And in our last video, we left off with the separation that is caused when a baby realizes that the mother is not it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not me.
That's not me, and what that does to us.
Mm-hmm. That's the beginning. That is psychological birth. The moment that I, and the sense of I, is born.
Yes. And in there, just towards the end of the last video, we talked about memory.
Mm-hmm.
And what were we talking about?
All I know, really, is that you went, oh, I want to talk about how I had no access to my memory.
Yes, so we were talking about memory, but as I came into this body electronics practice and just feeling these anxieties in my body, I had no idea where they came from, and it was always strange to me how I noticed my friends were able to recall, oh, I did this when I was 6 years old, or I did, here's how my life was when I was 8 or 10 years old. And for me, that was something that I just, in that moment, as I was hearing these recalled memories from friends, I would think to myself, wow, I can't even see my life then. I have no idea what I was doing then. I have no memory. I have no memory of my childhood. And all I would see, the picture, was just these clouds of like, well, what's underneath there? What? Literally up until I was maybe 13 or so, I just had little tiny snippets of what had gone on or where I came from, and just family stories sort of to piece together what my background was, and could never really express to you where I came from or all the things I did. So.
And you may be one of those persons who have the same situation. It's not entirely uncommon. Go on.
Yeah. And over this time I've uncovered those, and I've learned that I was carrying a lot of weight, and this practice has brought up those memories for me, and I realized a lot of it was because my body reacted in a very defensive way, a complete contracted way, where I plunged in on myself in these times of trauma, and it lasted in my body, it lasted in my posture, and I was walking around the world with my chest out, like totally puffed up, ready to fight pretty much all the time, not knowing why, and just thinking that's how I stood. And I remember after uncovering one of my first really intense memories of some abuse that had happened, and feeling that in my body. Someone had just kicked me super hard, and my leg cramped and felt like it had just been kicked, and the knee felt like it was going to break. And this is something I had to lay there and open up to and accept and then love. And there was a lot of tears and a lot of pain felt. And after letting that go, the next morning I was walking to do my daily ritual of writing and going down to the local cafe, and it felt like 10,000 pounds had been just taken off. And my knee literally felt different. I was walking, it just felt way better. It felt, like some healing had taken place, and just the weight had come off, and I was so much more open. And that's when I knew that I was going to pursue this work as fully as I could.
So, Jeremy's experience is not a singular experience. He's an extraordinary bioelectronics participant, and he really goes deep and gets the most he can out of every what we call the punctuations. We have a moment which we call the point holding table, and we take turns to be the appointee on the point holding table. And when it's Jeremy's turn, he really goes for it, really makes the most of it. But we've seen many people reverse enormous loss on the point holding table. And we get to see miracles occur. And some groups that have been body electronics groups around the world have focused entirely on physical miracles because they really are focused on physical people. What happens in my home group is we use body electronics as an ongoing spiritual practice, and so there's not as many physical miracles show up in any given month as might happen where you know, people are coming specifically because of their physical damage. But we see people blossom. We see people change. We see people come alive and feel wholly different about themselves and wholly different about what the world is and how they are in the world and what we can do about it. And it's that change that we have found a way to describe and carry to far more people. As Jeremy said in one of the earlier videos, body electronics is not for the faint of heart. It's for the people who are going to charge ahead and not balk at extreme discomfort for a moment, because you do come upon it. And I have done it for years, and I still come to these places where, holy heck, what am I doing to re-experience this? It's like, wow. And then I'm through, and I'm very, very glad. But there's that moment, particularly on the point holding table. But with a Compass Way, we can bring those fruits to you without guaranteeing that you will bust through those walls at that speed as body electronics does. You know, it's, you know, you're not necessarily going to cure your diabetes, not necessarily heal your broken bone in 11 hours, or not necessarily shift the way your body is put together and bring it back to what it was born to be, you know, in a short time. But it will free your heart and free your ability to be a human being, the kind of human being you've always known you were born to be.
Yes, that is so amazing. And that's where this inspiration has come from, and the reason I set up this camera. This is not a Jeremy you would see a year ago. But I'm so excited to have that part of me come alive, and I've shared this work with my friends, my younger friends, and they say to me, that sounds really dangerous, talking about body electronics, or that's, you know, why would you want to relive these things? Why would you bring stuff up to be healed? What would you say about that?
Well, first of all, you got them. We're not inflicting pain. We are eliciting the pain that is already in there, playing every day, grinding you down, killing you. So why would you pull out the cancer that's killing you? Why wouldn't you?
That makes a lot of sense. An easy description to a question that sometimes spins my mind around in circles, because it's been such an intense time for me, to complete roller coaster. I love the Compass Way ideas because it's a way you can take what we've learned here with this really intense work into your life and play with it and see just what level in life you're functioning at. On the table we have recalling tragic memories that really affected us, and we cringe. That's what we call self-protection, you know, and you can see that in your own life when you're angry in traffic, or you close up against somebody instead of engaging the situation. And engaging the situation to patch it over might be what is called getting along and making things work. And there's just these different levels, and then there's grace, where that's where we feel alive, and where we make these videos and share with the world and are joyful about that, and the place people play a lot of beautiful music from and stuff. So it's just nice to see where we're functioning, and Thomas can talk a lot more about that.
And, well, not only see, but learn that we can choose. Learn that my behavior, I don't have to study and force myself to good behavior, to better behavior, to being nice. If I can shift my consciousness, what happens is it's natural for me to be that better me, because it comes out of my consciousness.